For this video, we're proudly partnered with HelloFresh. HelloFresh are on a mission to make your meal times easier with pre-portioned ingredients, quick and easy recipe cards, and plenty of treats we can get on board with too. Get 60% off your first box plus free dessert for life by clicking a link at the top of the description. Sounds good, doesn't it? I've tried it before, I'm a big fan of the brand and have helped with my weight loss this year too. There's healthy options available, so why not grab your discount and give HelloFresh a go from the description below. Well, so far, I think it's probably a case of so good here at Willem II in the Netherlands. Both on and off the pitch, things are going pretty well. We have had some big sales. However, a director of football has been busy with the ins, which is exactly what we feared would not happen. On the pitch, it's been a remarkable start. And today, after getting through transfer deadline day, we've got a chance to pull away from a relegation battle because it's a big game against the side in the battle for that relegation playoff place. And if we can win this one, we'll probably move comfortably clear and start to look further up the table. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 3 of our alternate head coach save, the coach's head, with me, Daniel. We are back with Willem II, and as you can see, we're doing pretty well. We're up to our pre-season expectation before the poor start to the season the club had without us, of course. But other teams are picking up points and it's getting a bit tense at the bottom. Groningen and stragglers are getting closer, but more importantly, the sides from the relegation playoff up are definitely keeping pace. Still 6 points separating 11th and 16th. And today we face 15th place go-ahead Eagles. Can we keep most of our squad intact on deadline day? Then can we find a positive result? The previous meetings are good. Our recent form is excellent. So if you want to see if we can keep it up, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. It's been a very promising start. We've kept the club's defensive record intact, but we found a way to get goals. Not loads of them, but enough. Before we worry about any of that though, today is about a focus on the pitch. It is transfer deadline day here in the Netherlands, and before we go and get through the remaining hours of this window, 16 of them to go, let's go and have a look at what our director of football's been doing, because I think most of you know that this is the element I was most fearful of based on what had been happening with Bayern in our normal head coach save, the way that finished, and our experiment into what the director of football is doing. Now, a few of you mentioned in the comments, and it's a well-known glitch in FM24, that in the Eredivisie, you keep getting these messages about the board relinquishing control of transfers. We related it to that negative transfer model last time out. However, despite the fact we're getting those messages literally every time there's a deal, and we'll probably see it a few times today, it still seems to be functioning normally. So it might just be that the glitch is the physical message, but the issue behind it has been resolved. The good news though, if we start here, is that we mentioned we were quite happy with the balance of the squad for now. We've lost a couple of stars, but there's also been some work done for the future, and there's been a record sale from the club. So we'll come back to these two, but they're promising ones for me. Let's start with the transfer history, because out this month we have had 4 players, 2 of them very big ones for first teamers, 2 of them backup players that just cleared the wage bill a little, and there's been 1 player to come in. But there's also been 2 pre-agreed and 1 come back from loan due to the backroom advice. Now the good news is, we mentioned that deal with Javier Hernandez, who was that backup left back. He was recalled because he wasn't getting any football, which he was promised. And the backup left back who we had at the time, who'd come through the academy and was in his mid-20s, well, he decided to stay and be removed from the transfer list after the backroom advice meeting. The 4 players that have departed though, 2 first teamers, starting with Aaron Opoku. He was transfer listed when we got here. He then picked up an injury, so actually it wasn't that bad. £6 million to Malaga, 4.5 of that up front, for a 29-year-old winger that was only just good enough for the first 11 and probably wasn't a real standout. I think we have to take that as a pretty good deal. He was impressive in his first game and he would have been a key part of the squad. But is he good enough, in theory, to turn down a £6 million bid for when he's got a year and a half on his contract and he's 29? I don't think so. So I consider that a good deal for the director of football to do. He then let the experienced Iranian, who we looked at in the reserves, leave the club for £9,000, but got him off the wage bill. I think he was on about £6 grand a week. 32 years of age, past his prime, physically only going one way, and he was out of contract in 6 months. Again, another really good bit of business, because with those two, we were back under the wage bill and on an even keel for the window. Renzo Titans was the 3rd or 4th best left back at the club when we joined. Not good enough for this level and wouldn't have featured much. So they get a deal for him where, again, off the wages, but potentially 150 grand in as well. Really good work to Leuven. And then the final one is the one I was gutted about. But again, we talk about fair prices. We know the Saudi impact in FM24. When a big offer comes in from the Middle East, you have to consider it. And the director of football, I think, has made the right decision. He rejected a couple that were a bit lower. But Nicholas Acevedo, he's quadrupled his wage. He's gone over for what's going to rise to 14 million quid. And for a player that was with us for 2 years and did a decent job, I've no issue with that. And particularly because before we let him go, one of our pre-agreed deals was already in place. Now, doesn't fix the issue for now, but we've got a loan player back in this position. And again, with 18 months left on his deal, he was only going to go one way when he reached 30. So, gutted to lose him for now, but very important for the future that the right decision was made by the club, and it was. There has been one instant replacement, who we haven't seen yet because unfortunately he arrived injured. But Jamal Gonzaga comes in from Groningen, who are obviously struggling at the bottom, for £900,000, rising to 1.6 million. Now, part of the reason I like this one, he's only 24, he's got more potential to grow into. And of course, our first choice number 10 at the moment is Liquiña, who is on loan and is going at the end of the season. So giving him a, 4.5-year deal, it does seem like for a modest wage, we've got a very good replacement in that position. The backup in the number 10 position is 29 or 30 as well. So this just feels like a really clever, affordable signing for the future. He's featured for Groningen 9 times already in a league this year. We know he can play at this level. Absolutely thrilled to have him in. I was really pleased with that addition and for the price as well. But not as pleased potentially as the first free agent deal we got wrapped up for the summer. Because as soon as the window opened, our director of football went for Laurence Rosier, who, as you can see from that little map there, is a holding midfielder who can also play centre-half and centre-mid. Now, he is 30 years of age. He's going to be a little bit older, a bit more experienced, but it's not like we're paying a transfer fee, so I've no issue with that. And he's not coming in on a massive wage either. He's a really good ball winner, just a solid defensive mid. And I think for next season, I'm looking at someone who's 6'3", who's naturally fit, who's a threat from set pieces and versatile. And it is the area of the squad we do lack quality depth at the minute, especially now Acevedo's gone. But even before that, it was one I would have targeted. So really glad the director of football has looked at the squad planner, focused normally and got the right player in. He's going to be a good addition to the squad next year. A good short to medium term sign-in. And then on the flip side of that, we've also seen that the youth transfers work at this level as well. Because the director of football has gone for a player for the future, Omer Yazgan. The issue we were having at Bayern is none of these offers were going in. Well, this time it is. A number 10 who's got 2-star ability, comes on a free from AZ Alkmaar, and hopefully he'll develop and reach his best. But if not, no real loss to the club. We've not invested a transfer fee. We've just cleverly got him in on a free. I think it's a really good addition. So great to see that there's both senior and youth additions. Brilliant to see that Dokic is getting offers galore rejected, because I do not want to lose him. However, there are plenty of staff coming in. You can see a scout there that's being looked at who's not great. And there's also a performance analyst who's good. There have been a few others that have come in already as well. We mentioned the new director of football last time. The head of youth development we know was following. But since then, another assistant manager, a third one at the club. And Denny Lanzat, a man that Wigan fans will remember pretty well. Also played for Feyenoord, AZ and plenty of others too. Just a very good all-rounder. Dirk de Visser is a loan manager who's not bad. Not the best at analysing data, but mentally and his knowledge, both very good. And we've got a technical director in Rob Prost, who is now in charge of the staffing. And he's pretty good at his job as well. So the area we were most worried is being resolved. We've not got the coaching team in yet that we were hoping for. But there are a lot of things starting to happen. So as the wheels get into motion there, I feel we're going to get that sorted out. So all in all, a very positive start off the pitch and also a very positive one on it. We've lost one game since we've been here. We smash and grabbed a 1-0 away at PSV. And then aside from that, we mentioned we've had a fairly fortunate start on paper, but you've got to take advantage, haven't you? You were with me for the Fortuna Sittard and Groningen games that we won 2-0. We won the friendly in the off-season against a strong Hoffenheim team 3-0. We also played away at Sparta Rotterdam, a 1-0 defeat in that one. It wasn't the best performance, but we stayed in the game, and if you look at our defensive record since we've been here, absolutely remarkable. Continued the trend. Against Utrecht, we won by 2-1. We did fall behind, but then Boussaïd equalised, a player I've still got high hopes for, and Ace Vado with what was his final goal for the club in the end, but a very important one nonetheless. Against Camber in the Dutch Cup, we rotated a few, probably 4 or 5 I would say, from the starting 11, and the third goal was scored by the man who was brought back from loan, as recommended in the backroom advice meeting. Gudmundur Nokvason, he is a holding midfielder who can play centre mid. Bit of a shame he's left-footed as well, because it does mess with the balance slightly for people in their preferred role. But he's very solid, and again, for the rest of this season, he'll do a job, which I'm happy enough with. He scored the third goal after Tim Ehrman and Denzel Hall got one apiece. Ehrman, of course, coming in for this game. Away at PSV, we won 1-0. Ivan Pratajin back amongst the goals. And you can see there, man of the match Rossi, next best player Dokic, next best Lakinia who set up the goal, then the 2 centre-halves. It was a remarkable defensive effort. We get the stats up for the game. It was backs to the wall. We had none of the ball. We had none of the chances, really. They had 14 corners. They peppered the box, and we dealt with it. It was a really strong effort. And then against Groningen, a 2-0 win at home again. We beat them in the Dutch Cup, you saw on camera. We did the same in the league. Pratajin again with a couple of big goals. Nicholas Rossi between the sticks. Not having to do a great amount. When he does, boy does he deliver. He had another very good game. The problem we have had is drawing PSV in the Dutch Cup quarter-final. I was hoping for a really good tie, a friendly one, so we could work it forward, but it's just not happened, has it? Not really got those ties where the big boys are facing each other either, so it's a possibility. If we want to get there, we'd have to beat the likes of Feyenoord, PSV, Ajax back-to-back. I don't think we're at that stage yet. For now, though, it is transfer deadline day. It's an exciting time of the year. Players being linked away for massive money. Caleb Wiley from Utrecht for 20 million quid. There are young players with real quality in this league. Willem II have been linked with Ajax's Silvano Vos. He's a good holding midfielder. I'd happily take him. Not sure that deal's getting done, though. And there's also Ghent looking at Dokic, who I think, yeah, he had a chat with the director of football. And he's since got a 7 million asking price. So I think we know what he's going to be going for. Let's get through the transfer deadline day, though. That says 3.5, which suggests it would be rejected. If we could get through today and just sign Silvano Vos, I would be absolutely thrilled. Let's take part with 16 hours to go and see what the day brings. After what's happened at Bayern, I know it's ironic. I'm kind of hoping for a quiet one. Well, our first edition of the day, not probably what you were looking for, but we've got some international experience heading into the backroom team. And while Brené's not the best scout in the world, he's played in a lot of places and he's got a lot of knowledge, which I think will help this club moving forward. So far, it's been a story of rejected offers for loan players, so nice to see some actually being rejected at the moment. Wilco Roefs, we've had probably 2 or 3 different offer spells for. There's a few you can see going down. And then De Haan is another one who's had interest all month. Alamy, another one as well. All been rejected so far. So with 6 hours gone, no news in terms of the playing staff, but they're still adding people off the pitch. And so far, it's been so good. It's nice and quiet today. Well, I was about to say, it's been a lovely day. Nice and quiet with what's happened in the window so far. And then in the final hour, I can see disasters occurring because I can see that one of our first 11 has left the club on the home screen here. Kamenevic has left the club. We'll deal with that in a minute. Let's go in order. It'd been so quiet till the final hour. Why is it all occurring so late? Willem II are chasing an Ehlers loan deal. He is a right winger, right, so it doesn't solve the centre-half problem. Aurelio Ehlers, 24-year-old winger, 3-star, with 4 potential. Is that offer in? Yes, it is. It's still going. So he looks okay. Would be a good addition to the squad, but it's not really the solution at the minute, is it? Wonder if the other guy that we just brought in as a scout's had an impact there, because he had a good knowledge of Suriname. And now we've got an international from there. Viborg for Van Berkel, rejected. Right, there's a positive. Roefs, we've had another offer for, still rejected. Utrecht for Kamenevic. I mean, I can't argue too much. It's over 7 million quid. It's a big deal for an average player. But there's got to be a replacement. Here's the message we keep talking about. The club has a positive transfer budget, so the board have relinquished control of player sales. That message comes up literally after every deal. The Erler's offer has been accepted, but with an hour to go, we've lost a starting centre-half and we're not going to get a replacement. Well, 15 minutes later, we've had some warnings about the departure of Kamenevic. Yeah, we're not really that happy with it, to be honest, so we're going to say the same as the fans, get on board. But Erler's has come in. So we've got a replacement for Apoku. We've got someone who can play wide. 3-star ability, 3.5 potential. He's all right, isn't he, to be fair? He's up there. He's probably better than Razak and Minda, who have been starting in recent weeks due to the Thomas injury and Apoku going. And he is a player that can get better for sure. So not someone that I'm going to dismiss straight away, but probably not as good as the man we've lost. But maybe it's just short-term, cheaper fixes until we get to the end of the season. And then maybe he'll go bigger in the summer. But for £2.5 a week, I can't complain. What I've got to also look at now, though, with 30 minutes to go, is who's going to replace the players that we've lost, because there are a couple in the youth team that are worth promoting, which we may well go and do. I'm going to give it the 30 minutes first, just see if there's any defensive offers, but even at this point, if there are, I don't think they get done in time. Well, we don't need to worry about the time because there are no offers at all. Look, the club's made massive money this month. It sold Apoku, Acevedo and Kamenevic, and it's bought in Gonzaga, who I'm very happy with, Erlers, who's a decent player on loan, and it's pre-agreed a deal for a good holding midfielder in the summer, as well as a youth player, which has eased my concerns about how the director of football functions. I'm not sure we could afford to lose Kamenevic without a replacement, unless we can find some gems in the youth team here. Now, we already promoted one when we started, didn't we? That young right back, the 16-year-old. And maybe this is what the director of football had in mind. The best player in the development side is Gilberto Grootfam, who actually started in the first team when we got here. It wasn't deemed good enough. He is improving really quickly at the minute. So he's someone I might well bring into the team. He's been on the bench a couple of times just to pad it out. And he's actually quite good in holding midfield, as well as being a natural centre-half. So possibly someone we can look at now for the rest of the season. I'm going to promote him. We've lost our best players, but we're getting out of trouble. And we've still got a few new additions. Let's get ahead to the weekend and see what impact that has against Go Ahead Eagles. Because the only game we've lost so far is the one league game that Kamenevic didn't play. Well, it's fitness test time, and in addition to the couple of departures we perhaps weren't expecting, particularly that Kamenevic one late on, we've now got to contend with a number of issues off the pitch when it comes to fitness and to injuries too. Nigel Thomas is on his way back, but 45 minutes recommended today. Possibly from the bench, I don't know. Interesting that we're being told to bring Grootfarm in rather than Erman, who's actually a senior quality centre-half. That does seem a bit odd. Damaku's not eligible. I'm not sure why. I've no idea what's caused that because he was fine last week. But for now, we've not got Gonzaga quite fit. We're going to go for Erman left centre-half. It'll be replaced on the bench by Gertman, and then Erlers will take the place of Damaku. Nigel Thomas stays on the bench, I think, although Razak's really struggled at times. Let's start him and get him through an hour. Let's see what we can do. This is the best team we've got available at the minute. It is Rossi in goal, who has been brilliant in recent weeks. Denzel Hall and Milos Dokic, the fullbacks, with Erman in alongside St. Jago at centre-half. The one league game we played without Kamenevic was that one against Sparta Rotterdam. We've then got Lakchar and Nokvassen, the two midfielders. Thomas Lakinia and Busaid, the three ahead of him. Then up front it's Ivan Pratajin, who's already scored more in the games that we've been here, 5 in 5, than he had in a 16 beforehand where he'd got 4. So let's see if today we can pull it off as we go away to Go Ahead Eagles. We draw, we preserve the gap with 6. If we win it, we can make it even more. Just realised we've only got 11 subs too, so we'll add one more and head into the game. Well, 2 changes to this Go Ahead Eagle teams, and look again at another face we're coming up against that we managed in the head coach. We don't realise how many of these come from Dutch football. In the opening game, we faced Ferret Aslan, who we managed at Bournemouth. Here, we're managing Vlergraven, who we managed at Marseille, playing left back for the club. But this is about getting a result. We've got a few of them motivated. We've been keeping clean sheets galore. But there has been a change to this defence enforced due to that late sale. It probably worries me more than anything that's been happening in an attacking sense where we've had injuries and problems. So let's see if it has a negative effect today, because we've picked up a bruise knee early to Lachkar. Can't really do for a crisis now, but being a bruise, I'm going to leave it because it shouldn't get any worse. If it was a pull, probably a different story. But 20 minutes in, going to encourage the lads because the morale's struggling, but we're doing all right until now because we've conceded from a set piece, having lost our tallest player. He would have been there at the back stick. And now I'm becoming very concerned. It's been a great start and it looks a good job at the minute too. Because that deadline day sale for Kamenevic, I really think it's going to be crucial. I still think we'll be all right, don't be fooled. But I think it's going to be maybe a little more tense than before, where I think we would have just flown away into mid-table. As Akiniak gives the ball back to Dokic. He gets it back to Erman, who is the man into the team today, but not quite the same character, is it? Busaid goes back to Nokvarsen, and now Lachkar, who probably will have to come off at the break. Lakinia carries it forward, though. Down the left to Busaid, who is coming to strength now. And I said we're going to find a way to make him a star. Busaid gets his second goal since we've been here. His first two of the season. And that one's an absolute thunderbolt out of nothing. He's got real magic in him, this lad. And having lost to Poku, I don't actually feel the 11's weakened there. The one position, I'm not too worried about it. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. We're level, which should be a decent result. So let's dig in, give everything. Who can go hold in midfield? The options we've basically got are Gert Farm, who can come on as a ball winner. Or we can go for McKendy as a playmaker and move the other lad over. I'm not sure that's the right option either, although he is a pretty good ball winner by the looks of it. Bit surprised he's only 2-star there. Do I stick with it? Wants to stay on, but injuries affecting him, but he's doing all right. I'm going to leave it for now. It's a bruised knee. It shouldn't be getting worse. We're going to try and get him to the hour mark. And then Thomas, who's not had a best game, coming back after a month off. And he will probably be replaced as well. As on the front foot, the hosts come forward again. Go ahead Eagles on the front foot with all 11 in our half by the goalkeeper. Here is Cornelis on halfway. Finds Sheen. Through ball is good, but Lopez looked offside. Have we got VAR in this league? I think we have. That looked off to me. I'm not sure who's playing him on, if he's fine. We're checking the goal. It's been disallowed. We get away with it. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Another dose of encouragement because that morale's just not picked up to the same level since. We've got a corner at the other end, and this is where the Serb was a threat. Sinjago not quite the same. Loses out. Falls for Lakinia on the right, who gets to the byline. Cuts back to Sinjago. He's got support inside, but he goes back to Lachkar. And he'll look down the line. There are options, Hall being one of them. What a start he's had since we've been here. Header away as far as Nigel Thomas. Cuts inside. What a way to sign off. He's had a rubbish game and he's going to be replaced in a minute because of his fitness. But that's what we've been missing going forward. Nigel Thomas back in amongst the goals. And we're 2-1 up. We're doing it again. Now, based on our defensive record this season, I should be celebrating, but I'm not going to yet. Thomas will be replaced, and I was kind of tempted to bring the new boy on, and I think I might still, but not just yet. I'm going to go for Razak, just because he's more familiar with the club. He's young, he's here permanently, and he's played in recent weeks. He's also got good body language too. I'm going to bring on central midfield. Do I go McKendy or do I go Gert Farm? I'm going to go Gert Farm, I think. Let's get a proper ball-winning defensive player on. I think he's pretty tall as well, which helps out. And we're promoting youth again. Busaid is struggling physically, as is Lakinia. They'll both come off soon. And Pratigin's had a poor game up front. But here we are with a free kick. Tipped wide from Lakinia's shot. Playing some really nice stuff out here now. We're growing in confidence. If we can get that win without Kamenevic and just pull away from that relegation battle, will really give me confidence. As Sinjago can't get to that one. It's over everyone. And it's brought away. We'll wait till the final 10 minutes and then we'll think about more changes. As Busaid working back there. Brilliant stuff. Been a revelation the last couple of games. Erman gets it out in defence. He finds Dokic, the left back. We did manage to keep hold of him on deadline day, which of course is a positive, as Nurkvarsen finds Razak the sub. And now it's out to the left to Busaid. Maybe a last hurrah for him before the substitution. Down the left, lovely back heel to Nokvarsen. He's bringing out the tricks as well. And Gert Farm goes wide to Dokic. Can we produce the third goal? We've not scored 3 many times. As Dokic. Oh, it's really composed play. We're playing some lovely stuff here. Lakinia finds Santiago. Where's the switch now? Because Denzel hauls off. Not the best ball to him, but he finds Lakinia. That is stunning football. Tip wide for a corner. And now we will bring on the fresh legs. It's going to be Boussaid replaced by... I think we'll go for the new boy this time, Earlers, and we'll switch him over with Razak. They're both better on the opposite side. Lakinia will come off for Grudem, the experienced number 10. And we'll save the last sub, just in case of an injury or something. I don't need to finish with 10 today. And if we get a third goal, I can bring on the young right back. As Nockvarsen is on the corner kick duty again. We don't get to see it though. There's 10 minutes to go. Still the morale's really low. I do find that weird. Nockvarsen looks knackered, but we've got no sub there really. So we're just going to have to live with it. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replace the centre forward. Kai will come on. We're going to go for all of the time wasting stuff. I will make no apologies for it. 2 wingers on support. Can they even play a bit deeper? Can Razak play midfield? He can. So we're just going to go back to a proper shape. Wing back on defend for Hall. Nockvarsen can go defensive duty too. Grudem can drop to a support one. Not sure if he's natural in centre mid. He's not. And then we're going to time waste all the time. Slow the tempo. Play for set pieces. We're going to slow it down. We're not going to counter at speed. And we're going to drop that line of engagement. This becomes an incredibly important finish to the match here. 4 of the 5 added minutes remaining. And we are 2-1 up away at Go Ahead Eagles. As our brilliant start, it threatens to continue. There's 3 minutes of it played. There's no highlights. It's another big win. Kamenovic leaves for big money. Ace Vado leaves for big money. Apoku leaves for big money. But this squad is still very decent. I have no idea how it was in relegation trouble before. But we've got it well away from that now. Depending on other results, we could be 9 points clear of the playoff place. And we are. Although NEC have got a game in hand. We'll see who they're playing tomorrow. Because if it's Groningen, that might not be such a good thing for us. Having said that, we're up to 10th. We're 9 points clear of the danger zone. And Go Ahead Eagles will drop back down there anyway. So this is starting to look very good for us from where we were. The only bad news is, in addition to the players we've lost, we've picked up injuries to Lachkar and Grudem. Both of them not very bad. Erler's made his debut, which was lovely to see as well. And Ajax record an important win at the top as they go 7 clear of Feyenoord. So what are the fixtures tomorrow, just so we know if we can relax or not? It is NEC against AZ Alkmaar. I think we'll be okay. Let's go and have a look at the schedule though for when we're next going to be back. Because after a disappointing end to deadline day, I'm feeling more positive again now. We've got a chance to promote youth players and hopefully still finish mid-table. All while picking up 7 wins in 8. I think we all know what's probably going to happen against PSV. Yes, we beat them in the league game, but it was a proper smash and grab. And we'll be playing the opposite keeper this time. If we can win against Canberra, we're effectively safe. And then we can just enjoy the rest of the season. So I think we are going to come back at the midway point somewhere. I think a good game to go for is NEC because they are the team in that playoff place at the minute. And then either side of that, we've got Twente and Ajax. So should we do the game that we've probably got to focus on against the side that are going to be in trouble? And then after the international break, we'll show the game against the champions in waiting and the best side in the country. NEC and Ajax, the 2 games in the next episode. Might get our youth intake around there as well. So far, it looks like it's going to be excellent. An attacking midfielder of real star quality is expected to come through. We're going to get that in March at some point, so we'll look at that next episode. But for now, if you did enjoy this one, a strange transfer window, one that I wasn't that disappointed with until the final hour, but more performances on the pitch and more players starring where expected. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to stay up to date and see how the rest of the season goes, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We were back with a Southend save yesterday. You can find that one up in the eye above, as well as the first 2 parts of this if you've missed it. We've also got that youth development guide I talked about a bit earlier on, as well as links to the Twitch channel and the football podcast too. Thank you very much for watching though, as the dream start continues here in the Netherlands. Let's hope we can pick up a few more results and be all but safe when we return next time.